All right, chat. Alchemy talk. You ready? Are you ready? Alchemy is a new format, new way to play Magic on Mtg Arena. I was giving some cards to reveal on Tuesday, so December 7th, I'm having a set of cards that are digital only, cards as in plural, to be revealed for the world that will be included in MTG Alchemy. There's some pretty sweet, there are pretty sweet cards. I won't go over them here in this video or today. Again, those will be coming out on Tuesday. All right. And Alchemy, unlike Brotherhood, we're not turning stuff into gold. Okay. Not doing that. Again, Alchemy is a format. Alchemy is our new way from MTG Arena. It's a new play mode that we can play on Arena. Basically, what Alchemy is going to do, it's going to mirror Standard. So all the cards legal in Standard should be legal in Alchemy. However, the caveat to that is Alchemy will have digital only cards with each set. So if a new set comes out, Alchemy also gets extra cards. And Alchemy will be monitored. So Alchemy is going to be monitored by the FFL. The FFL stands for the Future League. So they test these cards, and basically if a card is overpowered or too strong, they're going to nerf it. And then they're going to look at cards that are played a lot. Let's say people really love, for example, Druid class. Hey, we noticed that Druid class is crafted a lot and played casually a lot, but we know that card isn't good enough for competitive play. Let's give it a boost to see maybe if we can make it a little more competitive. And Alchemy, instead of banning cards, will just do that. And also, if you're playing Alchemy and you open, let's say you open a pack and you open Alron's Epiphany, you will open both versions. You open the Alchemy version, which is going to be nerfed, and the regular version as well. If you want to play the card itself without it being nerfed, you can still do all that in the standard format. Standard is not going away. Again, Alchemy is just an extra way to play Magic. Hopefully that explains that. Again, if you want to play the cards unnerfed, or if you want to play Magic the way it's mirrored in paper, standard will still be here. Alchemy is just, again, a different way to play Magic online. So here, it's an ever evolving play mode. Build decks with standard cards, new digital cards. Again, these cards will come out with every set. They'll also introduce new digital cards. And the rebalances are the cards they'll nerf or buff for Alchemy. And again, if you open the card, you'll get it both for Standard and Alchemy. You'll get both versions. New digital cards, talk about that. Rebalancing Magic cards, talk about that. And it says here, when you log into MTG Arena after Alchemy is released, you get 3 Alchemy booster packs, 6 rare Alchemy individual cards, and 1 Alchemy Mythic Rare. That's kind of nice. Alchemy's been released December 9th. So that will be what? Wednesday, so Thursday? Is that Thursday? December? I believe that's a... So 7th is Tuesday, Wednesday, so I believe this is Thursday. Next week, Thursday. Where can you see the new digital cards? They're here. We'll go over them here in a second. How do I play Alchemy? Again, it's just a new format, and also it's just a new format. And Wizards is going to support this format heavily. They've already said they will give a turn like a qualify for it, and this is gonna be the main way, I believe, to play Magic on Arena. This is what they're going to be. This is what they're going to be promoting, and then tells you the cost of the Alchemy boosters. So Alchemy's either 1,000 gold, or 15 for 15 or 3,000 gems. Same set as standard boosters. This part is, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on the economy. How do you collect the cards? So the alchemy boosters will contain new digital. So why would you buy an alchemy pack over a regular standard pack? Because the alchemy pack has the digital only cards in it. Again, there's gonna be new cards coming out that are digital only with every set, and alchemy will have those cards. If you just plan on playing standard and you're like, alchemy is fucking, I don't want to play it because it's well, you probably have no use for alchemy packs. You probably just play excuse me, you probably just play standard. All right. However, if you open, let's say you open a pack, an alchemy pack, and you open Alron's Epiphany. Again, that card is going to be nerfed for alchemy. However, you'll also get that card for standard. So no matter what pack you open, if you open that fucking card, it's going to be, you're going to have it for alchemy with the revised version for alchemy and the regular card for standard. How do you tell if a card is rebalanced in alchemy version or the standard version? Alchemy will contain the Mtg Arena A in line with the card name. So you see here it says wizard class. This is the normal version. The alchemy version will have the letter A right before the name. And this is one of the cards that they actually buffed. So the paper version is the same thing for level 0, which is you have no maximum hand size. Level 2 is when this class becomes level 2, you draw 2 cards. And level 3, you know, whenever you draw a card, you can put a counter on a creature. However, they reduce the cost from level 5 mana to level it to 3. Does that make it playable? I don't think so. I don't really think so. No, I don't think it's good enough. But it's something. At least they're trying. I'd rather them like try something instead of overcorrecting. Will there be alchemy ranked? Yes, alchemy ranked will also share your standard ranked, your historic ranked, and your alchemy ranked will all be shared in the same ranking ladder thing. Is there going to be alchemy brawl and standard brawl? I mean, you'll have brawl and like you'll have historic brawl. Historic brawl, you can play historic brawl with the alchemy cards or regular, and if you direct challenge, you can choose whatever you want. All right. Okay. So that's basically the gist of alchemy. So this is the question. This is the question I was asking. How often should we expect to balance changes or new cards for alchemy? We currently plan to release new alchemy sets in the weeks following the adjacent standard release. For example, players should expect the alchemy set for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty to become available sometime in March. So basically, they release the paper set, and then a little while later they'll release the alchemy set, basically to keep Arena fresh. Because what's happening now is because there are so many streamers and so many people playing Magic Arena, the format is being solved extremely quickly. It's being solved just rapidly, and people that play Arena get bored very fast. But if you're playing on paper, you don't get bored because you're playing. If you play paper, you're playing like what, once a week, twice a week maybe. But if you're playing Arena every day, it gets quite boring because everything is solved so quickly. And alchemy is a way to spice things up without releasing a new set very quickly. Personally, I mean, like obviously this is great for me. It's great as a content creator because I can make more content. It keeps things fresh. So yeah, it is a good thing for people that create content. That's definitely for sure. Like more content isn't necessarily a bad thing. And so they will do this. We intend to rebalance cards on a more frequent basis to keep the format fun, fast, and dynamic. So what does this mean? Like how much or how fast will they rebalance cards? This means they don't know. They say it will be faster than normal, but they don't have like a we'll check every week, we'll check every 2 weeks. This leaves them, you know, safe. So there's no clear-cut answer to how fast they will rebalance the cards, but they're saying they'll do it faster than normal. What does that mean? You know, I don't know. Who knows? It's basically it's kind of a cop-out, but it is what it is. All right, these are the cards that are going to be released for Alchemy coming December 9th. So this is the white one, Captain Eberhardt. Actually, before we do these, let's go over the. I want to go over the cards that they've Rebalance first. Let's do that first. All right, rebalancing of cards. Auron's Epiphany. Okay, everything's the same. However, obviously not everything's the same. The foretell cost has been increased to its casting cost. So if you foretell it, it costs 7 to actually cast. So basically, they up the price by 1. You take the next turn, make 2 birds, and if it was foretold, you make 2 birds. If you don't foretell it, it's just a time walk. This is kind of important. 1, because it makes the spell cost 1 more mana out of foretell, which obviously isn't a huge deal, but 1 more turn does add up. And if they top deck this card, they can't just make the birds, right? They have to foretell it, pass the turn, and then cast it again if they want the birds. Because if they just cast it, it's basically 7 mana time warp that exiles itself, which isn't really that great. Because the birds is what makes this card really good. So yes, and also if it's copied, they also can't make birds. That's very important. Is this good enough? I mean, it's a start. It's a start. I mean, to be honest, I think the card that's the issue. Epiphany's annoying, but so is the Hullbreaker Horror. So I don't think they touched the Hullbreaker Horror yet. Next one is a Seeker's Chariot. Seeker's Chariot. Basically now, instead of making 2 cats, it makes 1 cat, which is a huge nerf. But they made the crew. The crew is crew 2 instead of crew 4. This makes the card almost, in my opinion, almost unplayable. That is such a huge nerf that it's pretty insane. Like, 1 cat is like, is trash. This nerf isn't that bad. Like I think this rebalance makes this card still playable. However, I think this rebalance makes this card pretty unplayable. That's my opinion. Like 4 mana for a ranger class that can make another. No, it's just, I personally think it's not good enough anymore. But I could be wrong. That's my opinion. Faces Haven. They nerfed it because every deck plays this freaking card. It's so annoying. The nerf is now it is a 3/3 instead of 4/3. It's no longer 4/3. It's a 3/3. This is a good nerf. This card is still extremely playable. You'll see play, but this card and that is a good rebalance. Like if you nerf a card and you know it will still see play, you know the card is fine. The card is good. So like this card will still see play as a 3/3 instead of 4/3. So it's a fine rebalance. I'll take this. Is this for arena and live play? This is for arena. This is for arena. Again, the ones with letter A here are for the Alchemy format, and this will be just for standard. Goldspan Dragon. Thank Jesus, because this card could lose like 2 abilities and still be playable. All right, so the Alchemy version costs the same mana, is a 4/4. However, it lost the ability where if you target it, it makes a treasure. Thank God, because that is so obnoxious. Like it's so tilting to target this thing with an Infernal Grasp or removal spell, and your opponent just gets 2 mana and can cast Saw It Coming or whatever. So this is a huge. What's crazy is this is a huge nerf, but the card is still absurd. The card is still extremely powerful. The card will still see play. Like this again, like Faces Haven, like Auron's Epiphany, this card will still see play. It's still a very good card. Still a very good. It's probably still the best dragon in the format. All right. The next one is a nerf to Luminarch Aspirant. Honestly, they could nerf 20 white cards because white has so many options for cards. It's kind of absurd. They have so many options for creatures. But anyways, the nerf for arena is the counter now. You get it at the end step instead of at the beginning of combat on your turn. That being said, this card is still excuse me. This card is still good because it has good typing. It's a human and cleric. Is it good enough? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not a huge mono white person, but I feel like mono white has access to so many cards that you maybe you don't play this in the aggro deck. Maybe you play it in a cleric deck instead. Regardless, it's still playable. Like, this card isn't unplayable. It is a nerf, but now I think you have to think a little more. You'd be like, okay, do I really want this card in my deck? Maybe yes, maybe no. Am I going for a long game? Okay, I want it. Am I just trying to push as much damage as fast as possible? Maybe I don't want it. But that is good. That's also a good rebalance. The card's still playable. It's not unplayable like a Seeker's Chariot, but anyways. Omnath, Locus of Creation. I do wish before they nerf this card that they would have just released it. I wish they would have released it as it was before nerfing it. I know maybe I'm asking for punishment here, but I do wish we had seen it as is in the new format without Fabled Passage, without Growth Spiral. But all right, the nerf is massive for this card. The nerf is pretty insane. It's this one is going to cost 5 mana, so it goes from 4 to 5, which is pretty huge. And then you no longer draw a card that comes in play. Instead it's Scry 1. However, you still have the ability when you play a land, you gain 4 life. And if it's second land you played, you get 4 mana. You get the all colors except black. If it's third land you played, you get 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker opponent's control. So we got to play. Honestly, we got to see this card. This card we got to see in that mirror event. Remember? And it was really not that good. Like, Omnath wasn't really that great with this change. Scry 1 is very different from Draw 1. Costing 1 mana is also massive. I don't know. Like, the rewards, are they there? Maybe. There's no Fabled Passage. The way you play extra lands is going to be through Druid class or, like, I don't know, a great, like the green-white card that can put land into play. This nerf is huge. This nerf is massive. I don't know if this card's playable still, honestly. I don't know. Key things to know is it is still hit. You can hit this with Storm of the Festival because it does cost 5 mana. But is it good enough? Maybe, like, because if you hit Festival, you hit Omnath and land, you gain life, and you play another land, you get 4 mana. They give you 6 mana again.
Yo.
So I don't want to say what up, strike it up. I don't want to say it's unplayable, but the nerf is massive. It'll be interesting, but I do think the nerf is a bit excessive, personally. I think having 4 mana with Scry 1 is fine. The 5 mana it's a lot. All right, next one is Cosmos Elixir. Everyone knows people on Arena love getting life. You've seen the Tesla, the green-white Tesla creature. Green-white Tesla. Whenever you gain life, put a counter on her, and you get to little top of your library. Put it top bottom. I don't know her name, but she's green-white 2/2. Tesla, Champions of Cars. Tesla, Tricilar. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Tesla creature. And then they printed the Voice of the Blessed, which is basically Johnny Vengeant on freaking whatever drug you want to say it's on. It's very, very push card. What up, Donald? Thank you for the Prime. So people love getting life. Anyways, this is not a nerf, this is a buff. Again, this is probably because they see people playing this card a lot, or people are crafting this card, so they want to buff it. The new card says, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and Scry 1. So basically, it's a buff from just gaining 2 life. Now I get to Scry 1 as well. I mean, it's a slight push. Is it good enough? It's playable. It's playable in like some sort of like control deck that beats creature decks but can't beat anything else. This card is playable in probably, again, like some Wrath deck that can beat creature decks but can't really beat control decks. So I'm gonna say meh to it, but again, I love improving cards. I love the the improvement or the try. Dimulich. Dimulich now 4-4 instead of 4-3. The only difference again is again toughness. I don't think this is going to make it that much better, really. Like, obviously you can't lightning strike it. However, people are still playing. People still play Demon Bolt, and the Izzet decks don't really want Dimulich in standard. However, in historic, this is important in historic. 4 toughness is bigger in historic, and that could, because in historic, Lightning Helix is played a lot, so this could make it better in historic. But as far as standard, I don't think it sees much play. But in historic, this is a nice buff for historic for sure. Druid class. All right, this is the one I know about because I am a Ram player. I'm a green player. I can tell you what this card needs. So they buffed this card. The card still costs 2 mana to play. Level up, it still costs 3 mana. And level 3 ability, they buffed it. Instead of paying 5 mana, you pay 3 mana. Okay? Now, does this make this card playable? The answer is no. And why is that? Ollie, why is that? They buffed it. Well, let me tell you. They buffed the wrong levels, okay? Level 3 is the last level that they need buffed. You don't want to level it on level 3 and make a 4-4 early or a 5-5 early. You want to level it up, make it like a 10-10, okay? The last level could cost 7 mana. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What this card needs to see play is the mana cost. Honestly, if I was rebalancing this card, I would make Druid class cost 1 green, 1 green mana, and to level it up cost 1 and a green, and level 3 can be whatever you want. If this costs 1 mana and level up was level 2, then whatever here, it'd be playable. It would not be broken. It'd be a staple. It'd be fine in these land decks. But as is, it is not good enough still. Like, no one is leveling this thing up early, especially for level 3. All you care about is level 1, level 2, and late game, whatever. That be broken? It is not broken, chat. I promise you it's not broken. You're basically paying 3 mana for exploration. Like that's not like, that is not broken. If y'all know what exploration is, exploration is a broken card. That card costs 1 mana. You still pay 3 mana. You don't draw cards off of it. You only play extra lands from your hand. There's no Feel the Dead. It's fine. Anyways, that is my opinion on that card. I play this card a lot because I played a buttload of this card, and even buffing level 2 to 2 mana instead of 3 would help, or even make this anything else besides level 3. Every turn though, yes. Again, this is not Growth Spiral. This is not Explore. You still play lands from your hand. This card would be fine, costing 1 CMC and 2 to level up. All right, Wizard class. This is the buff. This is another buff. So again, this is a reduction. This is a reduction of level 3. They've made level 3 instead of 5 mana, 3 mana. So and level 3 is whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. All right. So level 1, you have the max hand size. Level 2, you draw 2 cards. Level 3, you get to start killing the opponent. Is this good enough? I don't think so. I'll tell you what though, if Wizard class costs 1 and level 2 ability costs 2 mana instead of 3 mana, it'd be playable. Again, if they would have changed level 2 to make it 2 mana, absolutely playable. Is level 3 playable? I don't think so. Like I really don't think so. Again, the abilities that need to be reduced are the casting cost, which you can't reduce, and level 2. If I could play this as a divination with upside and leave this level 3 as 5 mana, it'd be playable in my opinion. And that's what I would do to the card if I really want to push it and make people play it. Again, leave level 3 alone, buff level 2 is what I would do. I don't think it's quite good enough by itself. All right. Phylath World Sculptor. Maybe I said this thing wrong. I'm gonna play this card because it was just garbage. But now it is a 5/5 with trample. I mean, 6 mana 5/5 Trampler is not good. Like, we have Vorna Clicks, and we have a bunch of other cards that can trample for less mana. Now, however, when this enters the battlefield, you make a 0/1 for each land for each basic land you control. So same amount of tokens. However, now landfall has changed. When you play a land, it puts 4 counters on that plant, and that plant gains trample till end of turn. This card still is unplayable. It's still just not good enough. However, it does make it a better like historic brawl person or commander or whatever you want to play it as. That's kind of cool. So that there is like a niche for that. But as far as like standard, there's no way. There's no way this card is good enough for standard. It's just not. All right, so this is what's gonna happen with Alchemy. So they changed this card, World Sculptor, Wizard class. So all these got buffed. World Sculptor, Wizard class, Druid class, Demon Lich, Cosmos Elixir. Omnath got nerfed to, I think, probably unplayable still. Luminarch is still playable, but you have to think about if you want your deck or not. Goldsmith Dragon is absolutely still playable. Great rebalance. I love the rebalance on a Goldsmith Dragon. It's perfect. Haven, again, love this rebalance. It's a great rebalance. Card is still very playable. So great work. Cherry, I think they hit it too hard. Making 1 cat is so brutal. 4 mana for a 2/2 is just, it's pretty savage. Like 4 mana for it's really bad. Like again, compare this to Ranger class. Oh, man. Like maybe, so if I was gonna rework this, you definitely need the 2 bodies. I would just try when it comes into play, make 3 1/1s. Like make 3 1/1s, but 1 cat is just not good enough. You need something like, it's just, the bodies is what makes it good. There are times where the 1 cat isn't good enough, where 2 cats is good enough. Anyways, this is a big nerf, and I think it makes this card nearly unplayable, probably unplayable. The Epiphany nerf again is a nice one. The card is still fine. We'll see play. Great nerf, great nerf, great rebalance, I should say. All right, so overall, I think they rebalanced the broken cards very well. Excellent job. Like all of them are great. None of them I'm sad about. Omnath was banned, so at least we get Omnath, access to Omnath, even if the nerf is too harsh. At least there's Omnath in play. So great work on the rebalance for the broken cards. The buffs, I think they're being cautious. I think they don't want to like push them too far. So I get the cautious buffs, but I hope in the future, as this goes on, they'll be more a little more risky with the buffs for these cards. All right, and last part we're talking about is going to be, again, this set comes out on the 9th. And there's also new cards for Alchemy. And one of them is a white card called Captain Eberhart. Eberhart, haha. 2 mana for 1/1 double striker. Spells cast from one card you drew this turn cost 1 less to cast. Spells cast from one card your opponents drew this turn cost 1 more to cast. So basically, cards you draw off the turn cost 1 less. Cards your opponents draw cost 1 more. And the stack, so if your opponent is drawing multiple cards in 1 turn, they all cost more for that turn. It's very important, like thank Jesus or thank Krufix or whatever god you believe in, that this card is legendary, because this card is miserable. This card is a very good card. Absolutely will see play in white decks. It's a human, which is a great which is a great creature type. I wish Wizards would make cards that are good, that aren't annoying white creatures. I feel like the best white cards are annoying small white creatures or Wrath of God variant number 26. Okay? There's a lot of Wrath of Gods. There's a lot of small annoying white creatures. Spellbinder, Lumark Aspirant, Thalia, Banished Marshal, whatever. There's Giant Slayer. There's a bunch of them. I wish they would give white a bigger identity. Like obviously we took away things from white. Like white used to destroy lands. We took that away, right? Because that's annoying. White used to be the prison color. Basically like moat. Creatures can't attack without flying. It used to be like a prison archetype. So they took that away. That's fine. Take away the land destruction. Take away the prison archetype. But give them something else. I think white is a great color to pick up, even just counter magic, like light counter magic, like things like Lapse of Certainty, or just something else besides small white creature or Wrath of God number 29. Anyways, that's my opinion. Great card, very solid card. Just annoying. I wish it was something else, but it is what it is. Blue. Okay, blue gets 2 cards. They get Absorb Energy, which is a cancel. So it's blue 1 for 3 mana. And it says counter target spell, cards in your hand that share a card type with that spell perpetually gain. This spell costs 1 less to cast. So if you counter a creature, all creatures in your hand cost 1 less to cast. If you counter I don't know, instant, blah, blah, blah. Is this card good? I feel like it's worse than Archmage's Charm. It's a worse Archmage's Charm, personally, in my opinion. Honestly, obviously it's better than Cancel, but it's not that much better. So like, this card is good if you hit like an instant or sorcery and having instant or sorcery, or like the best hit is being able to hit a Planeswalker and make it to fairy cost 4 mana or something. But even then, I think you're fine. I would rather play different counter magic. I actually don't think this card is good, personally, but it is a cool card to have access to. However, Geist Channeler is a 2 mana human wizard. It's a 1/3, and it says when this enters the battlefield, choose an instant or sorcery card in your hand with mana value 3 or greater, so things that cost 3 or more. If perpetually gains, the spell costs 2 less to cast. This card is one of my favorite cards revealed. Because perpetually reducing a card in your hand is huge, because after you cast it, the card still costs that much mana. So imagine things like they're occurred from the graveyard, or this even makes something that costs, like, let's say Escape the Wilds. You can play this turn 2, and turn 3 you play Escape the Wilds, right? That's sweet. 3 mana, draw 5, play 2 lands. That's awesome. Or turn 2, you play on Planeswalker. You can't play on Planeswalker, sorry. It's instant sorcery only. So you play it on, I don't know, regardless, whatever you want to play it on, it's super cool. Or even playing it on Storm the Festival. Like if you play this, play Storm the Festival. Festival costs 4 mana. Playing it on, there's just like, I have to look through all the cards legal. And that makes it a great brew card. So it's super sweet. I love it. Yeah, it's also good with recursion, like Leer, or does this work with Seagate Stormcaller? This might work with Seagate Stormcaller. I'm not sure. Let me see. Seagate says it's 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, copy the next instant sorcery spell with mana value 2. I think the spell still maintains its. I'm not sure this. I think on the stack is still like whatever mana, right? So if I make Escape the Wilds cost 3 mana, it's still 5 mana on the stack, though, right? I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure. But if that's the case, then it's also really good with Seagate Stormcaller and the red adversary, because then you can reduce cards that then the adversary can flashback cards that cost 5. But I'm not sure. But yeah, this is also, again, like, yes, people saying this card is Geist Channeler and Sublime Epiphany Geist Chandler and Discontinuity. Anyways, super sweet. The black one is Patient Zero. It's a 2-mana zombie with lifelink. And it says damage isn't removed from creatures your opponents control during cleanup steps. So if you shock a 3/3 on your opponent's side of the board, it is now a 3/1 and will remain. So it'll keep its damage until this card leaves. They're not counters, so you can't like. It's not -1/-1, so you can't like proliferate them. And Patient Zero can't kill indestructible creatures. Like usually creatures that are indestructible, you can give them counters like Wither or Infect, and they die. But this one, they don't. So it's different. This is also a lot easier. This is also a lot easier to track in on Arena. I know a lot of you are probably saying, "Oh, Patient Zero, Hearthstone card." I promise you, chat. I promise you, Wizards, Hasbro, whoever makes cards has thought about doing this with cards. However, it is extremely difficult to track on paper, so it's much easier to be like, okay, they're all healed or whatever. But this is a good way to test this on Arena. I promise you, Hearthstone wasn't the first game to be like, oh, damage remains on the card. You know, Pokemon TCG does that. It's not like it's not a new thing. Is this card playable? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's really good enough. 2-mana 2/2 lifelinker for a zombie. And do you really care about making opponents like bleed damage? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one personally. It's cool to have, but I don't think it does too much. All right, this next one. This next one is going to kill me a lot because it is absurd. Okay, 3-mana 3/3. Toralf Disciple, 3-mana 3/3 with haste. Are already playable. Is it good enough? No, obviously not good enough, but it's playable. And then every time this thing attacks, you make 4 lightning bolts and put them into your library. You shuffle them into your library. So the more this thing attacks, the more lightning bolts your opponent can draw and just kill you with. That is a really good magic. That's a really good card. And this is a card that's sweet. Again, this is a sweet card that you can make on Arena, but you can't really make in paper. And it's just really cool. It's really cool because this means in the future maybe they can like give you a creature that shuffles a Black Lotus into your deck, you know, or a creature that shuffles like a Time Walk into your deck. Like we get to see iconic cards that you can't just have in the format because they're too powerful. However, we can just shuffle them into the deck, and that's just super cool. And I actually love that. Not so this card, because this card will kill me a lot, but I love this new way to play Magic and introduce cards that aren't in the format from like older formats. Maybe there's one that gets you, I don't know, Feel the Dead or something. It's cool. It's cool. I like this ability. It is a human too. That's a good thing to note. Which means it's a good tribe. Humans are a good tribe to have and to be on Arena. All right, Ishkana, Broodmother. So when this thing was in standard, not this card, I played the out of it. Super sweet card. This one though, it costs 4 mana. It's for 3/5 with reach, and it says other spiders you control get +1/+2, and then you can pay 1. And then a black or green, exile 2 cards from your graveyard, and draft a card from Ishkana Broodmother's spellbook. What does draft mean? Draft is the ability to see 3 cards out of her spellbook and pick one. 3 random cards. It's basically like Davrol's offers. If you play Davrol, you -2, it gives you 3 options, you pick one, then gives you all the offer, you pick one. If you played Hearthstone, it's like Discover in Hearthstone. Every spellbook that's been released has 15 cards, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what her spellbook is. If someone has her spellbook, a link to it, I'll open it. But I believe her spellbook is a bunch of spiders, prey upon. Nothing crazy. I don't remember seeing anything like powerful, like super powerful in it. But I know it's mostly spiders and like prey upon. Someone says it's at the bottom. All right, cool. This is her spell book. Yeah, again. So 3 mana, 1/2. When it comes to play, you make another one. Yeah, just draft cards. 5 mana, 4/3. When it comes to play, make another spider. Okay, basically it just makes spiders. It makes spiders that make spiders. This says mutate. Just a spider. This is a big spider. When you cast a spell, reveal top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You may put a green permanent card with CMC X or less among them. Alright, that's cool. That one's terrible. Not really great. Not good. Okay. 1/5 reach. Okay, spider stuff. Spider spawning. Alright. Prey Pawn's like one of the best ones. Arachnoform. Alright, so just like, it's still free cards, but nothing here is broken. It's like, oh, whoops, I hit, I don't know, Lightning Bolt or Recall or whatever card. That's good. But it's still a card that generates value, so not bad. And then multicolored cards. We have Begin Anew, which is another take on Kai's Wrath. It's green, white. You play it destroys all creatures. And the creature cards in your hand perpetually gain +1/+1. This is very counterintuitive, because if you're playing a creature deck, you don't really want to play Wraths, right? And if you're playing a token decks usually can afford to play Wraths, believe it or not, because they just swarm the board. However, Begin Anew doesn't really pump your tokens, because things that make tokens usually are spells. It is interesting though. It is a hit off. Not that we need it, but it is a card Niv Reborn can hit, which is not nothing. Basically, you would need to be playing a deck that when you play a creature, it gets more creatures. So things like Militia Bugler, Prime Speaker Vanifar, the 3 mana card that comes into play, you get a 1-drop human to your hand. Basically, this card would be good in a deck that can like recover by playing other cards like Company and blah 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 blah. And also maybe a decent sideboard card for those decks. I personally don't think it's that great. My best take for this, where I like this card, is maybe like an Anaya control deck or something. But overall, again, if you're playing white, you have access to better Wraths. So who knows? I don't think it's that great though. Anyways, the next one is Gitrog, Horror of Zava. This is a creature beloved by all, which is I'm sure why they brought it back. It's a 4 mana for 6/6, 4 mana 6/6 with menace. Fantastic. And it says at the beginning of each combat, if Gitrog is untapped, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If they do, tap the Gitrog, then seek a land card and put it on the battlefield tapped. Again, Seek will get the first land on top of your deck and put it in play tapped. And then it says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it perpetually gains, pay a black and a green, tap it, sacrifice this land, draw a card. Is this card good enough? It reminds me of Desecration Demon, which is what the card they printed was. But Demon was a 6/6 flyer, and whenever you tap a Demon, it became bigger. It became like a 7/7, then 8/8, then 9/9. Which makes you think this card is probably not good enough. Because usually cards that cost this much mana need to do something else when they come into play. Also, it's 4 mana, which means it's the perfect target for like things like Skyclave Apparition. It can be hit by the Brutal Cathar, Giant Slayer. Cool, maybe cool for historic, but overall, I actually don't think it's that good for historic. But so sorry, I don't know. Does anyone know? Are these cards coming to standard too? Are these standard legal as well? because these are not standard legal. All right, since they're not standard legal, this card, I don't think this card's good enough, sadly. All right. One more is Ominous Traveler, 2 mana, 1/1. It says when this thing enters the battlefield, draft a card from his spell book. And the card gets, you may spend mana as though mana in any card to cast a spell. And you cast a spell, return a creature named Ominous Traveler you control to its owner's hand. So basically you can play this, play the spell, get this back, play it again. If you have enough mana, you can just get accrue card advantage from Ominous Traveler. His spell book is 15 cards as well, and I think it gives you vampires and zombies. So Dominate Vampire, Vampire Socialite, Stormquirk Blood Thief, Pit Fighter, Wolfkin Outcast, Howlpack Piper, Werewolves, Spirits, and Zombies. Yeah. I wish this card was a changeling. Like, it being a changeling would almost guarantee C's play. Not being a changeling kind of hurts it. Like, if you're playing a zombie deck and you play it and you hit, I don't know, you're 2 vampire and something else, it's I'm not a huge fan of this card. I think it could be really sweet if it was changeling, or if you could guarantee what you hit. But again, you draft the card, so you only see 3. It'd be a lot better if it was a changeling, for sure. Because then you could just play your zombie deck, or your humans deck, or your vampire deck, and it gets all the buffs as well. This card I'm a huge fan of. I love it. So for Forsaken Crossroads is a land card. It says Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield tapped. As it comes into play, choose a color, and then it basically taps for the chosen color. But it also says when Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield, scry 1. So it's basically like a Temple of Mystery or Temple of Epiphany, all those temples. And if you weren't the starting player, you may untap it instead. So basically, if you go second, I can play this, name whatever color I want, and instead of scrying, I can choose to untap it and basically get it untapped. And I absolutely love cards like these. I'm a huge fan of this design. I know they're being weary of it because it's super new, maybe hard to. I think their reasoning was it was hard to track. But I love rewarding people that are on the draw. Cards that reward players for being on the draw, we need more of those. We need way more cards like that. So being on the draw isn't always a bad thing. Like, imagine playing a deck in standard. You're like, you know what? My deck wants to be on the draw every time. You win the die roll, and you actually choose to be on the draw. Like, that's so cool. It's so cool. Like, I wish we could get that in standard. And I hope this is a way to do that as time goes on. Basically not punishing people for being on the draw. So we have this card. We have Knight of the White Orchid, which is a great card. White Orchid was also a great card that lets you not get super punished while being on the draw. But yes, cards like this, huge fan of these cards. Please make more. I think the reasoning of people can't track it is a silly reasoning. I know, I get it, but Magic players aren't dumb. You know, if this matters, I promise you, if this matters, people will remember. It's like the companion thing. People might forget the companion and, like, you know, not reveal it, or people might forget the companion and shuffle into their deck. Sure, that might happen 1 or 2 times, but I promise that after it happens, they will not let it happen anymore. They'll remember. So if this is a thing that's important, people will remember. There's so much things to remember about Magic. Being on the player draw is fine. Like, especially in paper. This is easier to track in paper. You just play, okay, life total 20, mulliganed. You put a 1 mulligan on the play, whatever. And on Arena, it's extremely easy to track. The card itself can just be like, okay, you on the draw. Okay, you on the play. The card itself can just say that, right? So I think that's easy to track, but you know, we'll see. Anyways, that's Alchemy. I have a nice chunk of Alchemy cards coming out on Tuesday, December 7th. They're super sweet. All I'll say is I've never been more excited to reveal Magic cards in my life. These are super sweet cards to reveal. I'm legit stoked to reveal these cards. Again, they are cards just for the Alchemy set, and it's multiple cards, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. The only downside here is overall for this, I'm not even sure if it's a downside, but these nerfs and buffs also affect Historic. So things like R1's Epiphany are nerfed in Historic. However, things like Dimulich also buffed in Historic. And they did say, let's say Omnath, they did say like once Isika's Chariot rotates out of Standard, obviously Chariot being a 4 mana 4/4 that makes 1 cat is unplayable, absolutely unplayable in Historic. But once it rotates out of Standard, they will most likely buff it back up to what it was. I think that's fine. I would just absolutely be ready for Alchemy to be the set to play on Arena. This format will be, I would expect it, I'm gonna guess, be more popular than Standard, more popular than Historic, more popular than anything else. I think Alchemy is the set that's going to be, like, when you think of Arena in a year from now, you'll think of Alchemy. When you think of Alchemy, you'll think of Arena. So yeah. Anyways, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Again, new cards will be going up on YouTube as well, December 7th. So yeah, yes. Thanks for watching.